In the genteel village of Fairwick, where reputation clings more tightly than a lady's corset, Miss Lydia Harcourt was regarded as a woman of both charm and spirit. She danced with grace, conversed with wit, and laughed. Oh, how she laughed! With a brightness that drew admiration wherever she went. It was, perhaps, inevitable that she would draw the attention of Mr. Adrian Westlake, the most handsome, most dashing, and most notoriously unattached gentleman in the county. His past was littered with hearts like petals after a storm, but when he turned his devastating smile on Lydia, the village held its collective breath. Everyone, except Mr. Thomas Linley, Thomas, Lydia's friend since childhood, had watched her blossom into the woman now beloved by all. He knew her fondness for mischief and her weakness for charm, and he, quiet and thoughtful, had long carried a secret hope that one day her affections might fall in his direction. But instead, they seemed to fall straight into the arms of Adrian Westlake. "He's not what he seems, Lydia," Thomas warned one crisp autumn morning as they strolled along the rose-lined path of Harcourt House. "He's exactly what he seems," Lydia replied with a teasing smile. "That's what makes it all so deliciously risky," Thomas frowned. "Risky is precisely the word I would use." Lydia waved him off with her parasol. "You sound like my mother." The announcement of their engagement was to be made at the Marquis of Braxton's masquerade ball, a glittering affair attended by everyone of consequence and several people who were not. Lydia had arrived radiant, her gown a shimmer of champagne silk, her heart fluttering with anticipation. Adrian, fashionably late, arrived nearly an hour after her, and when he did, Lydia found him not seeking her out, but pressed into a shadowed alcove with Miss Letitia Farnsworth, whispering something that made Letitia giggle and slap his arm. Lydia, frozen for a moment, watched. Then she turned on her heel and left the ballroom with the swift dignity of a queen vacating a tiresome court. Outside on the terrace, Thomas found her staring at the stars with a glass of something very strong. "Well," she said, without turning, "it appears you were right." He said nothing, only stood beside her in quiet support. After a long silence she added, "I should like to return to the ball, but not alone." Thomas offered his arm. "I would be honored." And as the crowd turned to see Lydia Harcourt, not with Adrian Westlake, but with Mr. Thomas Linley, ascending the dais where the orchestra played, the hostess raised her fan in surprise. "Miss Harcourt," the Marquis said gently, "are you ready to make your announcement?" She smiled. "Yes, indeed." Taking Thomas's hand in hers, she turned to the crowd. "It is my pleasure to announce that I am engaged to Mr. Thomas Linley." There was a collective gasp, a flutter of fans. A woman in the corner dropped her champagne. Adrian, still emerging from his alcove, looked stunned, then irritated, then attempted a nonchalant shrug that fooled absolutely no one. But as the initial shock gave way to murmurs of, "They make such a lovely couple," and "I always thought it would be Linley in the end," the orchestra struck up a new waltz. Thomas led Lydia to the floor. "You deserve more than a pretty lie," he murmured. "You deserve a lifetime of being chosen. And you," she said with a grin, "deserve a woman who knows better the second time around." They danced as if the world had finally come to its senses, and in a way, it had.